What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scared Soldier back with another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing another weapon. That weapon today is the Horizon. Now the Horizon is a tediore shotgun and it has been given multiple buffs as of October 15th. We're going to be going over those details later on in the video, but first let's look at the stats of this weapon. We have nearly 7,000 damage times 13, so not too bad, not the worst, not the best in the game. The reload speed is extremely fast, and of course the weapon has a nice legendary effect, which makes the gun overall very good. So we also have URAD anointment, also known as the 5150 anointment, and this is going to be really nice. So the way the weapon works is that you have to just reload the weapon. You're going to tediore chuck it, and then it's going to say shoot me around it. You want to shoot it, because if you do not shoot it, you're not going to get the legendary effect, because the legendary effect is a singularity that happens. It's going to pull all the nearby enemies in. It actually has a really good range. It's going to pull a ton of enemies in, and then it's just going to explode on them and does a lot of damage. That's the actually biggest part of this weapon. So we're going to show you where to farm it for first, of course, because maybe some of you guys want to actually try the gun out, and that's where we're going to go in a second. In order to farm the gun, you have to go to Eden 6. So we're going to be going there in a second. Hopefully we'll get lucky enough in order to get the drop for you on camera, but this is where it is, guys. The drop rates, by the way, from my experience with this specific boss, is pretty bad, to be honest. They're horrible. It took me maybe 20 kills to get one drop, and the anointment was awful. So anyways, you're going to go over to the Voracious Canopy over on Eden 6. We're going to make your way through this huge maze. So make sure that when you go over here to farm the weapon, make it worth your while and actually get a drop, because this is the most annoying boss I've ever had to deal with, because if you didn't have Zane, he's always reflecting your bullets back at you. So at least with Zane, the clone can distract them from one side, you can kill him on the other, or the clone will just obliterate him anyways. But no big deal. But it's just the drop rates were so bad, guys. Really bad drop rates. So hopefully this weapon will be worth it. I have not used the weapon myself, really, to be honest, because it's not a world drop, so I never really had a huge opportunity to actually use the weapon. And also with the Horizon being from that annoying boss, I typically just go to kill Genevieve most of the time in order to get the refluxes. So this is the only way to get the Horizon, is from that enemy. Moving on, we got some gameplay, guys, for you. We're over at Athenas, because you know that Athenas is just a nice map to go through. It's nice and bright, and we're using this weapon now, and it does a lot of damage. Now, one of the main things that I like about this weapon is that after the singularity does its damage and it does not kill the enemy sometimes, you have like some sort of superpower. I don't know if it's overkill or whatnot, but all of a sudden you start doing massive amounts of damage once the singularity goes off for a couple shots anyways. And that is where you're going to see in the Wotan kill a little later on how we did that. So we're going to be talking about also what we actually got from Gearbox and what made this gun different. So some of the buffs that we got an increased weapon damage. So you notice that our base weapon damage was very close to about 7,000. The Horizon that has roughly 7,016 damage is the one that has is non-element. So you guys can go ahead and use that. It also got an increase in reload time. So now we have only a 1 second delay in a reload, which is really good, because now you can just spam the tediore chucks, which is going to be awesome. And finally, we got an increase in damage dealt by the singularity. So as I mentioned before, the legendary effect of this weapon is that it pulls enemies in. So think about like the quasar grenade that like pulls in enemies and things like that. And then once the explosion goes off, that's where most of the damage is going to come from. And Gearbox decided to enhance this explosion damage, which is really nice. That's why you see us using this on Moze, because Moze in her skill tree has a ton of splash damage bonuses and also splash damage radius. So this is really nice when you pair it with those type of rolls on your class mods. Now, for your artifacts, I would recommend you guys look for things like area of effect damage, because area of effect damage is going to increase the radius of the singularity. Now, you have to be careful because the damage and the radius is so big that you will go down. So make sure you keep your distance. That's why you always see me backing up after I throw out those those tediore chucks. But anyways, guys, you see the damage is pretty good. It's not the best shotgun in the game, but it is definitely really fun. It's a different play style, you know, tediore chucking and also singularity is really fun. I wasn't expecting this when I first picked up this gun and I was shooting enemies. I felt like the enemies were quite kind of tanky. I felt like the actual damage of the gun itself wasn't that great. But then once I learned what this gun actually does, I'm like, whoa, this gun actually does some good damage. Now, we're going to be going over to the Maliwan Takedown in a second, and this is where I actually had the most fun, especially for those drones. You're going to see in a second that we absolutely annihilated all the drones in the sky. It's really insane because the singularity pulls them all in and it takes them out of flight, spins them around. It does a whole bunch of fun stuff, and the explosion is massive. So right here, we're on the Maliwan Takedown, and this is where it gets hectic. You guys know the bridge. You know, there's a ton of enemies. I can't lie, I went down a couple times because I don't really have much means of protection. Again, it's a weapon review, so you know, you're going to be sometimes vulnerable when you're trying to get those cool kills for the YouTube channel. But again, the gun really actually performed a lot better than I thought it would. The singularity is really fun. And that's pretty much that, guys. I mean, I had fun. I don't know if you guys want to try out the weapon. What's your experience with the Horizon? I really want to know. Now, moving on, the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is that the Horizon that we're using, the Horizon can be available for you guys to actually grab. So all you got to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, smash that like button, and just comment your PSN down below, and I will send you a copy of the Horizon that I'm using in this very video. There's going to be, of course, maybe 1 or 2 winners. We're going to see depending on how many of you actually put your PSNs down below, because we are on PS4. Sorry, Xbox players and PC guys. But again, this is for PS4 dudes, because we're on PS4. So you guys have a chance to win the weapon. That's all you got to do. Like, subscribe, drop your PSN down below, and you guys could get the Horizon. So last but not least, do I recommend this weapon for you guys to actually farm? So with my experience, there has been really good shotguns in the game. I mean, one of the best tediore shotguns in the game is the Anarchy, as you guys know. So the Anarchy is definitely way better than this one. But do you guys actually want to have fun? If you guys want to have fun, you don't care too much about crazy damage and having all the best guns in the game, because this is not the best gun in the game by far. If you want to have some fun, then definitely I recommend you use this gun. It's a different play style. It's a different way of using a gun. So pretty much I would recommend you guys actually give the gun a try. If not, if you guys are just people who love tons of damage and want to be crazy with it and just want to have OP builds all the time, I wouldn't include this in your OP build by any means, because it's not a top tier shotgun. I would say it's like maybe a B tier, honestly, but that's my opinion, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, by the way, as we absolutely are going to destroy Wotan in a second. Hope you guys like the first of many face cams to come. It's our first face reveal. Let me know what you thought about the video. I'll catch you in the next one. It's your boy Scare Soldier signing out. Peace.